Live from Local 2, home of click2houston.com. This is KPRC Local 2 News at 4.
New details tonight in the West plant explosion, what investigators are now saying about the cause of the blast.
Plus, the Boston Marathon bombing gets political, why the White House is butting heads with some Republicans over the way Dzhokhar Tsarnaev is being prosecuted.
And breaking news from Austin right now, there is no one to operate the lottery. The House has just voted not to reauthorize the Texas Lottery Commission. Good afternoon, I'm Keith Garman.
And I'm Rachel McNeil. First, we begin with the latest on the Texas plant explosion. Investigators in West are narrowing in on the cause of the deadly and devastating accident.
Last week's fire and blast killed 14 people and injured hundreds more. Local 2's Philip Mena joins us from West with the latest.
As the slow search continues into what caused last week's deadly blast, investigators today definitively ruled out one possibility.
The rail car that there's been questions about that was full of ammonium nitrate is not the cause of the fire or cause of the explosion. It is a victim of that explosion.
Also today, new details about the size of the crater left behind from the explosion that left at least 14 people dead.
The width was 93 feet. The depth was 10 feet.
Today's news comes as some question whether more government oversight could have prevented the explosion.
And I'm sure there's a lot that wasn't done that was supposed to be done, or this wouldn't have happened probably.
The plant was last investigated by Texas environmental regulators in 2006. On Monday, Governor Rick Perry defended the work of state regulators, telling the Associated Press, quote, "People through their elected officials clearly send the message of their comfort with the amount of oversight." University of Houston professor Tracy Hester says better communications between federal and state agencies is needed.
So that may not require a new agency, it may not require new rules, but at the very least it requires a different approach to make sure that you have everything woven together into a unitary view.
And regardless of people playing the name game here, right now people are still just trying to literally pick up the pieces of their homes and the pieces of their lives as everything has been, again, torn apart here and people are just trying to heal. Reporting live in West, Philip Mena, KPRC, Local 2.
Thank you. And the President and First Lady will make their way to West on Thursday to attend a memorial service for the victims. We're following some breaking news now. Sky 2 is live over a two-vehicle accident in Stafford. We're told the crash happened on the Southwest Freeway at West Airport. Police have closed off the main lanes and are diverting traffic onto the Theater Road. We were told a man changing his tire was hit. He was flown to the hospital. No word on his condition right now.
And now to the latest on the terror in Boston. Life is slowly returning to normal there. More parts of the city that were once part of a crime scene are reopening. Meantime, in Washington, the controversy continues over treatment of the surviving accused Boston bomber. Dzhokhar Tsarnaev has a lawyer now and the right to remain silent, but some Republicans want both taken away, at least for a while. Steve Handelsman has more on Capitol Hill.
Pedestrians at the White House today back on Pennsylvania Avenue that had been closed after Boston. Washington returning to normal. But some Republicans are objecting to the Obama administration taking a normal criminal approach in the Boston case.
All I'm suggesting is that we're at war.
Accused bomber Dzhokhar Tsarnaev, shot in the throat, unable to speak, got a Miranda warning Monday against self-incrimination, got a lawyer, and can stop cooperating.
Does anyone really believe that our national security professionals were able to acquire all of the relevant intelligence possessed by a subject who couldn't talk in only 2 days?
And Republicans still want the 19-year-old U.S. citizen declared a potential enemy combatant and questioned for weeks. GOP Senator Kelly Ayotte noted Anwar al-Awlaki of al-Qaeda was a U.S. citizen, but killed by the U.S. in 2011.
We can take him out with a drone strike if he's in Yemen, but if he actually gets to the United States of America to carry out the acts that he wanted to as a terrorist, and we capture him here, we've got to give him Miranda.
U.S. investigators are in Dagestan today to interview the mother of Dzhokhar and Tamerlan Tsarnaev, who denies her sons were Islamic terrorists.
What happened is a terrible thing, but I know that my kids have nothing to do with this. I know it. I am mother.
U.S. officials admit losing track of Tamerlan after he went to Dagestan last year and not knowing he was promoting jihad on the web. I'm Steve Handelsman, KPRC Local 2.
Well, today Tsarnaev's medical condition was upgraded from serious to fair.
A man accused of plotting to derail a train in Canada with support from al-Qaeda in Iran made a brief court appearance today. 35-year-old Raya Jasser, accompanied by his parents and brother, was given a new court date for May 23rd. Jasser and his suspected accomplice, 30-year-old Chiheb Esagayer, have several charges against them, including conspiring to carry out an attack and murder people in association with a terrorist group.
We're following breaking news out of Austin. The Texas House has delivered a surprising defeat to a bill reauthorizing the Texas Lottery Commission. It's casting doubt on the entire lottery statewide and may potentially cost the state billions in revenue. The state Senate has yet to consider the matter, but for now, there's no one to operate the lottery. Texas has had a lottery since voters approved a 1991 constitutional amendment authorizing us to have one.
Caught on camera, two men rammed their way into a northeast Houston shop not once, not twice, but 3 times, leaving behind a huge mess. And police say the truck the suspects used was stolen. The break-in happened at a convenience store in northeast Houston on Lyons near Majestic. Local 2's Mark Boyle shows us the crime that was caught on camera.
The crooks made this mess. They drove a truck right through this store and got away with nothing. However, all of it was caught on camera. 4:30 this morning, 2 men, one with a crowbar, the other wearing a striped shirt, broke through these burglar bars to clear a path. Then, a few minutes later, they backed this white truck through the glass doors to get inside, sending glass in all directions. The store manager thinks they were after cash.
Take out the ATM machine, but he's not take out the ATM machine.
The convenience store is just off of Lyons Avenue and Majestic Street in northeast Houston. Security cameras recorded the stolen truck backing into the shop not once, not twice, but 3 separate times.
Upset, big upset, because there is maybe 4 times. Every time we lose the money, too much money over here.
This has happened 4 times someone's broken into your business?
Yeah, 4, 5 times.
Houston police say the 2 men tried to get the cash machine open, but when they were not able to, they left. There was a black sedan with a driver in it waiting for them near the gas pumps. Police showed up within a matter of minutes, but the burglars were long gone. This is the second time something like this has happened this week. Just yesterday, a group of men used another stolen truck to smash into this shoe store in southwest Houston. Investigators are looking to see if the 2 crimes may be connected. And the store owner says it's going to cost tens of thousands of dollars to make repairs here. For now, reporting in northeast Houston, I'm Mark Boyle, KPRC Local 2.
If you recognize the men in the security video, you were asked to call Houston police.
Live from Local 2, home of click2houston.com. This is KPRC Local 2 News at 4.
A dramatic police chase unfolds in North Houston. This afternoon, we're learning more about the suspect who fled.
Plus, today was Pope Francis's first full day on the job, how he used his first sermon as pontiff to share his ideas about life.
And a man stabbed and left to die in front of an East Harris County home.
Good afternoon. I'm Rachel McNeil.
And I'm Keith Garvin. We begin with the latest on that deadly stabbing. A suspect is in custody.
We're also learning new details about what may have led up to the stabbing around 2 this morning on Steele Road and North Battle Bell Road in the Highlands. Reporter Camille Williams joins us now live.
That is right. You know, the neighbors are saying one thing and the family of the suspect is saying another. And Harris County Sheriff's deputies are not releasing a lot of information at this time. The murder happened right behind me, but neighbors say earlier they saw investigators searching this area down here looking for clues. Here's Sky 2 video from earlier. This is an aerial shot of the search. The incident happened around 2 this morning. Harris County Sheriff's deputies responded to a stabbing in the 800 block of Steele Road in Highlands. When they arrived, they found a man face up, stabbed to death in front of this home. Investigators have not released many details to us, but say there was some sort of a verbal confrontation. As of right now, sheriff's deputies have 1 person in custody. I just spoke with the family of the suspect, and they are claiming he was defending himself when he stabbed the man. We are told that the suspect was found at an apartment complex in Baytown. Of course, we'll continue to follow this story and make sure to bring you the very latest as soon as it becomes available, and also at 6. Reporting live in Highlands, Camille Williams, KPRC Local 2.
Well, if you have any information that can help police track down the suspect, call Crime Stoppers.
Some tense moments in North Houston as a driver led police on a dangerous chase. Sky 2 followed part of that pursuit, and our cameras were there when the suspect surrendered. Local 2's Joel Eisenbaum has more on how it all unfolded.
Why is this reporter on top of a trailer? I'll tell you why I'm on top of a trailer. It's because this is where the chase ended this morning. And it's pretty fitting. They sell trailers here, and in the end, this suspect got hauled away.
Oh, someone's running from the cops.
Yes, ma'am, right on the money. A wild Thursday morning for police and the burglary suspect in this SUV who just wouldn't quit, at least for a while. The pursuit started in Bel Air just before 9 a.m. An astute police officer had a hunch. The man in the SUV was connected to a crime the day earlier. What was that about, Chief?
There was a man in his home. He was in his living room, and he had his garage door open. He noticed what he thought to be some movement out in his garage, so he went to check, and he saw a suspect running out of the garage carrying some golf clubs and some other items.
Anyway, it looks like Officer David Roca picked the right vehicle because the chase was on through Bel Air, West U, 59 northbound, 45 northbound, with close calls all along the way, until it finally ended before 10, complete with spectators, in the parking lot of Nationwide Trailers off the North Freeway near West Gulf Bank. The suspect gave up with a cigarette in his mouth and not a scratch on him or anyone else.
We all kind of rushed out. So, I'd never seen anything like that before, so I mean, we were all kind of excited to see what was going on.
What's going on for this suspect is most likely 2 charges, burglary of a habitation and felony evading. On the north side, Joel Eisenbaum, KPRC, Local 2.
Bel Air police are withholding the name of the suspect as they search for a possible accomplice in the burglary case. Officers say they found stolen items in the back of that SUV, and in the meantime, our website, click2houston.com, we've got raw video of the chase under today's top stories.
Well, it is the first day in the new and very prestigious office for Pope Francis. He celebrated his first Mass as Pontiff in the Sistine Chapel today. It's the same place where he was elected as Pope about 24 hours ago. For his first day as Pontiff, he's already returning heads for his unique style of leadership. Local 2's Bill Baeza has the latest from Rome.
Although the new pope won't be officially installed as head of the church until next Tuesday, he got up early this morning and hit the ground running. Ducking in a side entrance, Pope Francis made his first public appearance this morning at Santa Maria Maggiore. A handful of well-wishers among the first to greet the new pontiff. This afternoon, celebrating Mass with the cardinals in the Sistine Chapel where he was elected. Humble, yes, but the Vatican says he also has a sense of humor.
He said, may God forgive you for what you've done.
The simple Jesuit from Argentina, living in a small apartment, riding the public bus. The Pope's humble lifestyle now on display all over Rome.
I think they're going to all be in shock. This may not be a man who wants to wear silk and furs.
Last night, after greeting the crowd, a spokesman says he skipped the papal limousine, took the bus, went back to his hotel to pick up his bags and pay his bill.
He was concerned about giving a good example of what priests and bishops should do.
But style aside, huge problems lie ahead. Dealing with the sexual abuse crisis, corruption, a decline in membership, and reforming the Vatican.
The fact that he talked about being the Bishop of Rome, I think, really resonated with the people here.
The people here, now his people, as 1.2 billion Catholics look to their new pope for answers and inspiration. And now we're getting word that last night's announcement was the second biggest Twitter event, second only to President Obama's re-election. In Rome, Bill Baeza, KPRC, Local 2.
And Bill has been covering these historic events for us in Rome. Coming up at 5, he sits down with Cardinal Daniel DiNardo of the Archdiocese Galveston-Houston, who was part of the conclave to select the next pope.
Houston's large Catholic community is excited about the new pope. Many have been watching all of the developments in Rome very closely. Local 2's Mark Boyle has more from downtown Houston with their thoughts about Pope Francis.
With a new pope in place, local Catholics now praying for that pope as well as for the future.
Well, we got a pope.
To say Catholics we spoke with are pleased about the election of the new pope may be an understatement.
I pray very hard, and as you know, we have been praying very, very hard, because we have to continue changing, making the changes in the world.
During morning mass at the Co-Cathedral of the Sacred Heart in downtown Houston, dozens showed up to pray for the future of the church as well as Francis I.
When you have a change of leadership like how it is happening right now, it is a great thing, for me. I think it is a blessing.
Over the doors of the cathedral, yellow and white cloth. The colors signify there is a new pope, and we're told they'll be up at least for the next couple of days until the installation mass.
It is great to see that that leaders in the church, care about, of what's going on, And right now we're planting the seeds of the future, and that's what I think it is important.
Pope Benedict was known as the Pope of the Faith. This Pope is going to be known as the Pope of humility, humbleness.
And a spokesperson for this cathedral says Cardinal DiNardo is likely to return back to Houston sometime later next week. For now, reporting downtown, Mark Boyle, KPRC, Local 2.
We've got a special section on the new Pope on our website, click2houston.com. You can read more about the Pope, his first day, the history of the papacy, and Bill's blog from Rome.
A dramatic scene in the Montrose area as a house fire spread to a duplex. One person was hurt. Home video from a viewer shows us what it was like for firefighters as they tried to put out the fire. Viewer Josh Verde sent us this video of the fire on West Alnier and Stanford. The fire started just before 4 this morning. Local 2's Courtney Gilmore spoke to neighbors about what happened.
Well, fire crews had the street blocked for hours. They put out hot spots and tried to determine the official cause of the blaze. Now, the fire spread from one home to that duplex. You can see where the fire burned through the roof. Families are still in shock that they lost everything.
But I was really nervous because the garage of my house is run down. I mean, I think one little spark, if it jumped, it would have engulfed it as well.
Amanda O'Toole says she woke up in a panic. This is what she saw when she looked outside, an orange glow coming from the back of her neighbor's home.
I woke up to like little sounds, like little bomb sounds, explosions, and looked out my back door, and there were flames coming out from the neighbor's backyard.
Fire quickly consumed the small one-story home off Solner and Stanford, forcing a family of 3 to take cover.
There was a lady and her daughter in the first house. They both got out. I have talked to them, and the story that they tell is that, thank heavens, they had smoke detectors because that's what woke them up.
According to the woman's husband, she was burned on her forehead and hand, but is doing okay. As for her next-door neighbors, they were still in harm's way. 15 minutes after the fire started, the flames jumped to the duplex next door, destroying that home as well. Fire crews pulled a 2-alarm and went into defensive mode. The family that lived inside of the duplex says they were enjoying spring break vacation with their kids. Now they'll have to find another place to call home. Arson investigators are still trying to determine the official cause of the fire. Meanwhile, the families say they're just grateful they were able to get out alive. Reporting in Montrose, Courtney Gilmore, KPRC Local 2.
Well, as you know, daylight savings was this past weekend, and firefighters say that's a really good time to change the batteries in your smoke alarms and carbon monoxide detectors.
Members of the Houston Police Department gathered to honor some of their own today. Chief Charles McClellan and other department officials handed out more than 50 awards for officers who have shown exceptional service to the citizens of Houston. Officer Kenneth Strange was awarded for saving a woman who was about to jump off a bridge. He says he could not have done a thing without the help of his fellow officers.
It makes me feel great, but it also, without my fellow officers, nothing's possible. I had a great partner that day, and then the other officers that were at the scene were instrumental in the whole thing.
The chief handed out awards today for meritorious service, public service, and for excellence. Well, more trouble on a Carnival cruise ship, where this ship got stranded and what the passengers are saying.
And we're stranded with an absolutely beautiful day. That's going to continue, but there's at least one big change on the way. That's in your forecast straight ahead.
And I'm consumer expert Amy Davis. Millions of Americans will soon be getting a tax refund from Uncle Sam. I'm going to show you how to track yours.
And the suspect at the center of a New York shooting rampage that left 4 people dead is now dead himself. Up next, how this all unfolded. Next on Local 2 News at 4.